Half-Life Decay is the only official Half-Life co-op game that's out there, and its original release was limited to the PlayStation 2, though Gearbox Software had a PC version completely finished and it was ready to be released. Also, it was even considered to release Half-Life Decay as an official source quotation, but Valve cancelled it all for unknown reasons. And as a result of that, this official Half-Life title cannot be obtained through the Steam store. But cheer up, PC gamers! There's a way to play this Half-Life title on your computer in full co-op mode. And unlike the PS2 players, you have the advantages of playing with mouse and a keyboard. Though, actually it was possible to hook up a keyboard and mouse to your PlayStation 2 and play Half-Life. And I guess I was the only nerd who actually did that. In 2008, an Ukrainian mod team took it upon themselves to port all files of the PS2 version into a fully functional Half-Life modification. So let's open the first link in the description and download the necessary files from ModDB. Once it's all downloaded, unpack the files into the Half-Life folder and restart Steam, and then you're ready to go. And just as a side note, you need the original gold source version of Half-Life. It doesn't work with Half-Life Source. When you start the game, you will find yourself in a generic gold source game menu. It's not as pretty as the PlayStation 2 menu, but who cares about the menu? To start a new game, just select a map. If you are playing this game for the first time, you need to select the first level. Once you played them all, you are free to select whichever level you please. Just like on the PlayStation, you have to unlock them one by one. So, what is going on in Decay? It's a co-op game, so grab a buddy to play and put yourself in the shoes of Dr. Green and Dr. Cross. By the way, these characters are the absolute opposite of the typical video game woman. No skimpy, useless armor outfit, just the same HEV suit as Gordon Freeman is wearing. A PhD in physics and kicking asses of aliens and soldiers alike. Take that, misogyny! Like Gearbox's other expansion packs Opposing Force and Blue Shift, Decay returns to the setting and the timeline of the original story. The story begins with Gina Cross and Coletta Green arriving at the Anonymous Materials lab at Black Mesa and reporting to Dr. Keller, who is readying the day's analysis of an unknown specimen. Despite the objections of Dr. Rosenberg to pushing the analysis equipment beyond its design capacities, Cross and Green are assigned to assist setting up the experiment for Dr. Freeman. When Freeman inserts the specimen into the scanning beam, it triggers the resonance cascade. Well, you know the Half-Life main plot from there on. After the whole mess, Cross and Green escort Rosenberg to the surface, where he sends a distress signal to the military. Rosenberg elects to stay behind and meet with the military on arrival, and Cross and Green return to Dr. Keller. Once reunited with Keller, Cross and Green work to seal the dimensional tier to stop the invasion. The military arrive and try to remove all personnel as well as the alien force. After resetting key equipment to prevent a second dimensional rift, the two are tasked with preparing a satellite for launch. The satellite, which is launched by Dr. Freeman in the original Half-Life, is used in tandem with ground-based equipment to significantly weaken the effects of the resonance cascade. Keller tasks Cross and Green with activating this set of prototype equipment, a displacement beacon, which through the satellite may be able to seal the dimensional rift. However, after activating the beacon, both characters are caught up in a harmonic reflux, a distortion caused by the rift. Despite this, Cross and Green are able to return safely, and Keller congratulates them on their success. It still remains unclear whether the doctors managed to survive the nuclear explosion that destroys Black Mesa. If you want to know the fate of Dr. Rosenberg, I'll just point to the story of Half-Life Blue Shift. If you've played Half-Life Decay before, you may remember the bonus level where you can play as Vortigaunts. In this version of Decay, the bonus level can be unlocked by solving a secret puzzle in the domestic violence chapter. To summon it up, you have to retrieve a crystal sample which has been stolen by the G-Man. I'll put a link in the description that shows you how to solve this puzzle, just in case you are too lazy to find it out yourself. And just as a teaser, the secret involves a gun that has not been in the original PS2 version. And let's call it what it is, the teleportation device from Half-Life Opposing Force. So that was how to install it and what the story is about, and now some side notes in the end. This is a co-op game, however you can play it alone by switching around from player 1 to player 2, but this is boring as shit. On a second notice, this game is best played on local network, however there is currently a single online server, and theoretically it's possible to play it online, and almost every time I checked it was empty, so have at it. And note number 3. Several people have tried to create a remake of Half-Life Decay for the Source engine, but till this day everyone failed. A retired third-party remake of Decay for Source, initially called Anomalous Materials but later renamed Hazard Team, was one of those teams who seemed to have the most progress before they stopped working. And honestly, what they came up with looks pretty good. And the last thing I have to note, the level design is a lot more detailed than in the original Half-Life. True, this is all fairly plain looking when compared to today's games, but for the time it was a vast improvement. So that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed today's video, and if you did, consider subscribing and checking out our other stuff, such as the cat content of Counter-Strike and how to install and play the unreleased alpha of Half-Life. So see you next time, and as always, have a nice day and guten Tag.